Libera me Domine de morte aeterna, in dies ira tremenda, in dies ira.
Good morning. My name is Jim. This is the first day of my self-imposed quarantine due to the coronavirus outbreak. Today is is today the 13th, Friday the 13th? Well, there's a propitious note for you. I believe today is Friday the 13th, March 13th, 2020. Yesterday, the governor of my state of Oregon declared 250 any entity with any activity, any public activity having 250 more attendees has to be canceled due to the outbreak. I myself have a condition, respiratory condition called, very rare, called hypersensitivity pneumonitis. It all relates to my exposure to toxic black mold back in as early as 2004. So I have decided to impose upon myself a quarantine. I live in a 5-room apartment in Salem, Oregon. I'm a retired person. I'm pretty active, and I have lots and lots of things that I work on, and I've had to change some things as a result of this virus outbreak, and also I have to change some of my plans ahead, and I'm wanting to share with you my experience of living alone, hopefully virus-free, in an apartment as a senior citizen. So there's an introduction. I have a presence on the internet all over the place, and I'll be sharing some of that information with you. Some of the topics we'll be concerned with are primarily, of course, the quarantine and the fact that on Facebook I have announced all of my 300 and some friends that I've decided to quarantine myself for a period of 4 weeks from today, and at that time I will re-examine the situation with the virus and determine whether or not I'll go on with the quarantine or whether I'll continue doing the activities that I'd already planned to do before the quarantine went into effect. So here it is, 7:15 in the morning. Outside my apartment, you can hear the garbage truck taking away the garbage. The complex where I live consists of 8 3-story buildings. There are 6 2-bedroom apartments in each of the buildings. Right now, one of the buildings is undergoing some the replacement of the siding, so the public parking outside my apartment is filled with construction equipment. That activity is going on today. So here we are, live blog. I'm starting my day. I'm going to get some breakfast, and since I'm out of blueberries, I won't have my typical granola blueberry cereal in the morning, and I have some bacon. I have 1 egg, and I'll discuss ordering things and having to deliver to the apartment. We'll be looking at lots of things that relate to problems senior citizens have with health, and just because I'm involved in the theater community here in Salem, Oregon, we'll be looking at some of the things that I have been doing and that I plan on doing. I am a compulsive writer, but I'm also a filmmaker, and we'll be starting off by putting these videos on YouTube to start off with. I have 2 accounts on YouTube. I'll be sharing a lot of that information with you. And for now, I'll go make some breakfast, and maybe I'll come back to this place. Okay, so I've moved into my galley. I was in the dining room. Now I'm on the other side of this counter in my kitchen, as such. And as I said, I'm going to make fry my last egg. I'm going to be really unhealthy here. I'm going to do the kind of quick breakfast that my grandmother or my mother would make, and that is simply fry up some fat bacon in a pan and get all this grease in the pan, and then fry the egg. And then I've got a little toaster oven here. I'll make myself a piece of toast. I've been trying to do gluten-free, but I haven't really noticed a big deal of difference in the level of inflammation that I experience. One place I have a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis, definitely a diagnosis of osteoarthritis. Inflammation is a big deal for me. One thing I've discovered is if I mix my coffee half and half with chicory, first of all, it reduces the caffeine level, and second of all, chicory can be a nice anti-inflammatory. I don't take much in the way of medication, mostly for high blood pressure, and the fact that one of my blood pressure pills depletes my potassium, so I take some pharmacy level potassium in addition to the 2 blood pressure medications. My blood pressure is well under control. After this breakfast, I don't know if it'll be well under control because I'm eating so much grease. At any rate,
I mean, the question is, was there any thought of not having spectators out there? And that's impossible. The Boston Marathon is for everyone, and I don't think that was first of all never discussed. There was different discussions around.
And that's what it takes for me just to sit down to eat my
limit
breakfast.
the number of runners, all of that stuff. And again, that's not the Boston Marathon. We're an inclusive marathon that obviously with all the cities.
Okay, so got all this going on TV right now. It's good Lord. It took me an hour from the time I started this thing to right now when I'm actually sitting down to my egg over easy with 2 pieces of bacon, a piece of wheat toast with marmalade, and some coffee with half and half. Actually, half coffee, half chicory, and with half and half creamer. Yeah, it's pretty good. So I take a picture of it, but I think I'm just too hungry. So as I just sat down, you can see some of the problems that I have physically with the arthritis. My knees right now, I think all the cartilage tends to be aggravated simply because I need a bunionectomy. They're supposed to be calling in a few days to schedule a surgery for me. Both of my feet have bunions. That's a whole story in and of itself. And because all the weight of my body is kind of pushed to the side, my knees are giving way. And I don't think my knees are worn out or anything, because I do work out 2 or 3 times a week. Although I won't be working out during this quarantine. At any rate, I'm hungry. If I finally figured out how to control the remote on the Canon camera there, I would turn it off right now, but I haven't figured that out yet. So here we go. I think I'll listen to TV. And I don't know that I'll include all this stuff when I actually do my final cut, but I'll try to post this today.
Moving factor. So that's some of the things we can give you more later. Why?
No, it's gonna be a marathon day.
It's gonna be marathon day. It's gonna be a holiday.
Just like April 20th would have been this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be a holiday.
Just like April 20th would have been this year.
Yes.
But
3 new messages, all in Gmail. Oh boy. Oh, Lordy. Okay, so yesterday, the stupid thing that I did was to sign up with the Backstage site because they were advertising on Facebook that they were casting for a film, an Amazon Prime series that's being produced, and they need an older man to play someone with a British accent between the ages of 65 and I don't know, 80, something like that. And so I paid my $100 to Backstage, and I thought I was actually going to apply for an audition for that particular show, but here's an email from Backstage. Let's see what they say. Actually, there are 2 emails from Backstage. Edit your profile photo. I've used a photo of myself that Heinrich Müller took for my part in Macbeth. I'm not in a theater now, so I can say Macbeth. 2014. That's the one I used for my 8x10 glossy for The Wizard of Oz, where I played at the Enlightened Theatrics here in Salem. It was a professional show, and I played the Wizard and Professor Marvel in that show. So that's what I put on the Backstage site when I set it up yesterday. And now they're telling me to edit it. We noticed you've uploaded a new profile image. Awesome. To look your best to casting directors, we recommend taking a look at the thumbnail version of your photo in the Backstage Media Locker. A thumbnail is a smaller square image that is seen first in your profile and job applications. If the thumbnail of your photo isn't cropped the way you'd like, you can edit it in your Media Locker. Having nicely cropped thumbnails will make sure you look great and increase your chances of landing a role. And then we get edit photos now. Well, obviously for 4 weeks I'm not going to be able to commit to anything. I've already had to drop out of a little dinner theater thing in Staten, Oregon. I was scheduled to be in a mafia murder mystery at Roxy Berry's cafe in Staten on April 4th. I was going to have a minor role as it's called Mall Man. I frisk people when they come in the door. I even challenged their passwords to get into the speakeasy and all that. And I even got myself a nice tuxedo coat with tails and a nice vest. And they're all hanging in the hall here, and I won't be using either one of them for that show because I won't be in that show. And I was supposed to sing Nice Work, if you can get it, from that Broadway musical, 2012, Matthew Broderick, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here's the next email from Backstage. And I get my Good Morning I don't watch CNN much, but I get my Good Morning News headlines from the CNN app. And I donated money to Joe Biden's campaign, and now I am plagued with emails, text messages, asking for more money. I don't mean just daily, I mean several times a day. Alright, Backstage, directors, creators, vocalists, dancers, 6 new roles masked. Film festival, trailer shoot, Seattle surrounding areas only, please. Well, that's me. I said that I would do a 300-mile radius of so one of the local theaters, the big local theaters, the Pinnacle. It's kind of our regional theater, and I just got an announcement that their production, they're going to cancel some performances of their current production of a play called The Cake, kind of another Oregon type story where this couple are asked to do a cake for a gay couple. It all went to the Supreme Court and all that kind of stuff. At any rate, back to the Seattle thing. Casting a one-day shoot for a high-exposure film festival trailer filming in studio in Seattle. Production states, we are seeking a small, enthusiastic cast to join us to bring our client's film festival to life. Our client is pro bono, which means we work with community partners who donate their time. Cast production will have a total of 6 talent on set interacting. Gotta click more. I don't know that I want to share all this stuff this morning and probably bore you to tears. Come on, come on, come on. I don't want to read it. All right, these are the roles. I'll check them back later. Reality TV and documentary, Dog Years. Casting Dog Years, a documentary for a streaming network. We're looking to document really interesting and remarkable people all over the world as they make a puppy a member of their family. Well, we're not going to do that either. Or a real person. A University of Minnesota parent training program. Short films, one called Boogie. Fenton is grounded for sneaking out of his room at night, and his parents don't believe that the boogeyman is in his closet. And I don't know what they're looking for. And then we've got Wooden 2020 summer season, Comedy of Errors, and Othello. I've done Shakespeare, but it doesn't really interest me. It doesn't sound like it's anywhere around where I want to be. And then the last one is casting the feature film Christmas Freak, role number 4. La 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 la. Before the coffee gets cold. This site can't be reached. Unreachable. Okay. Google Calendar, Pinnacle. And I got all kinds of promotions. Blah 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 blah. I usually go into. So let's get back to the whole idea of the quarantine. So from kind of a scientific perspective, my purpose, maybe this whole thing is political, as some people think, Maybe this is just kind of an agenda to scare people, blah, 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 blah. For me personally, it doesn't matter. My immune system is compromised, and specifically my respiratory system is compromised. I was exposed to toxic black mold as early as 2004, and I've been hospitalized. Typically, what happens is that, and this is all chemistry, but basidiospores get embedded in wet plywood. Plywood sheets are glued together with the urea formaldehyde. The black mold, the basidiospores, consume the something in the urea formaldehyde. This is usually like in an attic area, maybe where the roof's leaking or something of that sort. And as the black mold evolves in the plywood with the urea formaldehyde, there come nice warm days in early spring when the attic may be in a home or a building. In my case, it was a school, where the attic gets very warm, and suddenly these basidiospores start to pop open and produce tens of thousands of little other spores, baby spores. And these spores, it's my theory, contain a chemical substance called monomethyl hydrazine, which is a rocket fuel component. It won't affect the average person. 20% of the population may have some kind of result from breathing these spores. In my case, my lungs create fibrous material to protect the lungs themselves. Well, the problem is when my the fibers fill up my lungs, it also cuts off my oxygen, and my oxygen levels drop to 72 or so. And the most recent one that was the most serious was in 2009, where I actually had to be put in a medically induced coma for about 4 days.
Libera me Domine de morte aeterna, in dies ira tremenda, in dies ira